The young man mounted his fire dragon and soared into the sky, flying across mountains and seas until he found the prison holding Arya. Edward couldn't sync perfectly with his dragon yet, so he told the dragon to wait outside while he disguised himself and snuck into the prison. When Edward found Arya, the chief wizard was already waiting in ambush. Edward had learned some ancient elven spells, though he was no match for the wizard. The chief wizard sent a spear flying at deadly speed. At the last second, Ram appeared and blocked the fatal strike. Edward quickly threw his sword. The chief wizard dodged easily and didn't expect Edward to immediately follow up with an arrow. The wizard's projection was destroyed, forcing him to retreat temporarily. After escaping the prison, Ram couldn't hold on much longer. Before dying, Ram rode the fire dragon through the sky one last time, reliving the feeling of being a dragon rider. The next day, Edward buried Ram on the mountain. The fire dragon breathed colorless flames that turned the stone pile into a crystal coffin. Edward was about to continue his journey when Arya suddenly collapsed, writhing in agony. The chief wizard had planted a curse beforehand. Only by reaching the dragon rider's hideout could Arya be saved. Soon after, Edward accidentally discovered the dragon rider's hidden cave. The soldiers were about to attack when Edward's fire dragon arrived, proving his identity. The leader ordered Arya to be taken for treatment. Edward had finally found his people. This was all part of the chief wizard's scheme. The wizard planted the curse to locate every dragon rider and eliminate them completely. Soon, the chief wizard surrounded the mountain hideout with his army of magical soldiers. Everyone began building defenses. Edward received a set of dragon-scale armor. As darkness fell, the magical soldiers finally charged. The dragon riders were well prepared, though their dragons had been slaughtered during the Civil War. Facing overwhelming numbers, the dragon riders were completely outmatched. Edward finally arrived. Riding his fire dragon, Edward made just 2 charges and wiped out the enemy's advanced forces. The chief wizard couldn't just watch. The wizard summoned his own dragon, wrapped in black mist as it swept forward. Having been a dragon rider longer, the chief wizard could unleash his dragon's full power. Edward shared vision with his fire dragon, though he could only see the wizard's afterimage. After just 2 exchanges, Edward was covered in wounds. Even his fire dragon was badly injured by the wizard's dragon. With the enemy chasing relentlessly, Edward's fire dragon threw Edward clear just before crashing. Using the black mist as cover, Edward hurled his knight's sword at the chief wizard, striking a vital spot. With a piercing scream, the chief wizard turned to ash. Edward plummeted toward the ground. Before hitting the ground, Edward's fire dragon used her last strength to catch Edward, though the dragon was now dying. Looking at his life and death companion, Edward reached out his right hand and pushed his magical power to the absolute limit until he collapsed from exhaustion. After some time, Edward woke up. Fortunately, Edward had managed to save his fire dragon. From now on, they would protect the people of this land. In a dark cave somewhere, the king drew his sword and cut through a curtain. The king would soon return with his own dragon,